I want to bring an update this morning on the four dear souls that are currently on hunger strike outside the Dáil in Dublin, survivors of reform and institutional schools in Ireland. They have been on hunger strike now for pushing up on 50 days. 50 days to try and get two things: basic state pension provision, full contributory state pension, which will only cost approximately 30 or 40 euro a week, and full HAA medical card provision, because they're all in ill health. And I've got an update this morning. I was supposed to be talking with Mary Donovan this morning. She sent me a message, which I'm going to play to you. They've actually set up a work site right outside their tent. They've got jackhammers going, they're pouring tar there, while an ambulance is there administering oxygen to two of these people because their health is failing so badly. So please, if you do nothing else, share this video out, let people know what's happening. Hopefully I'll be able to talk with them on Monday morning, but this is getting dire. The last update that I could get, day 48, health is at serious risk. Mary Donovan, Miriam Moriarty Owens, Maurice, Patton, O'Connell, and Mary Dunlevy Green are feeling exhausted. They had health checks over the last 2 days. Mary Donovan and Mary Dunlevy Green have been put on nebulizers 2 days in a row. They have come to the end of week 7, day 48. Every second that passes is harming them. They need a written commitment from the government, which they still have not got. Dialogue, the government's talking with them. They're sending out ministers. They've spoke with Micheál Martin, who's currently, by the way, on a jolly in Brazil, or was earlier this week, and has committed 15 million euro to saving the Amazon rainforest, when he can't commit to providing basic pension provision and medical care for 4 people that are starving themselves outside the Dáil. This is an abomination, an abomination. So I got this message this morning. I spoke with Mary yesterday, been trying to get an update. It's very difficult to try and coordinate it because there's other people speaking with them and they're not feeling great. They're feeling exhausted. And this morning, a roadworks or a building site has popped up outside their tent, causing massive sonic disruption and fumes, molten tar being poured outside their tent when they're receiving oxygen. Unreal. Unreal.
Nick, if you can hear the jackhammers.
This is the message that I got this morning. Supposed to record something with these dear people at 11. Mary messaged and said, unfortunately, the council are right outside our tent, digging up right outside the tent, unable to hear as a jackhammer and tar is being laid. This started while an ambulance crew were giving us oxygen outside our tent. So this is the message, and I'm playing this to let you hear the sounds that they're being subjected to as they sit there on a peaceful protest outside the Dáil.
Hi Nick, if you can hear the jackhammers there, they're hoping hell there's going to be an interview done today. Sorry, you may try and see if you can do it on maybe Monday when it's more quieter. This is happening right outside our tent, and burning sulfuric acid right outside us after we've been nabbed on oxygens, myself and Mary. It's absolutely disgusting and appalling behaviour. Tar products being laid down, melting stuff right beside us after our oxygen levels were low and all that. They said they've no respect. They've got earmuffs and we haven't. No masks, no nothing. Talk to you soon.
You hear the sound of that? And that's through the phone speaker. And as she said, they have no ear protectors and they're pouring tar, and tar fumes are aggravating their airways as they're receiving oxygen. You mean to tell me that something couldn't have been done to stop this works happening today while they're in that condition? This has been brought up in the Dáil by some parties People before profit, Sinn Féin have brought this up in the Dáil, which is the least that they can do given that they're stepping over them every morning as they're coming in and out to work. And Helen McEntee, you'll hear her spouting here today, and watch as she smirks. Jupiter's delight as she smirks when she describes the hostile weather conditions that those people are currently camping out. They've also been sleeping out every night rough in a tent, as well as being on hunger strike. This is what is being said this week in the Dáil concerning this.
I raised the case of the industrial and reformatory school survivors who are outside the Dáil on hunger strike. It was 3 weeks ago. At that stage, they were on hunger strike for 22 days. It's now been 47 days and they're still on hunger strike. They're obviously in very, very grave territory in terms of their health. Their ask is very simple: access to a full Health Amendment Act medical card and a full State Contributory Pension. I understand there was a meeting with a mediator recently, but certainly they are saying that they have nothing in writing in terms of those very, very...
Look at this weasel, Harris, furrowing his brow, holding what looks like a sawn-off pencil as he scribbles down some, what's he doing, doodling on his notepad? He's being told there's people sitting out there, they're in a grave condition. They're only after two things. They're not after millions and millions in compensation each for what they've had to endure. HAA Medical Card, full State Contributory Pension. For those that are left, it's only about 4,000 survivors now, down from 10 to 12 to 14 some few years ago. They're dying off.
Very clear asks. I did listen to your response earlier. I mean, things are obviously, and I appreciate you accept this, things are at a very, very grave situation. Can they get commitments in writing around some of these things? Can you or other senior ministers meet with them to reassure them that the case is being dealt with very seriously at the highest level and so on, try to bring this to a successful end?
Our Minister.
Maybe just at the outset, Deputy, it's to assure you that this is being dealt with at the highest level. I've met with Maurice, with Miriam, and both Marys twice now in the last number of weeks. The Taoiseach has met with them twice.
That's Helen McEntee. Helen McEntee is an evil witch. And the last time that I spoke with these protesters outside the Dáil, about 2 weeks ago or so, they testified that of all the wicked women that they have ever came in contact with, one of the ladies said that McEntee was the coldest she'd ever experienced or ever had the countenance. This one here, Helen McEntee.
There was a mediator met with them earlier this week. In between all of that, I have written to them a number of times and at every step of the way encouraged them to please come off their hunger strike. My first and foremost priority.
Come off the hunger strike? Well, then give them what they want. You can end it today. You've dragged it out for nearly 50 days while they suffer. And you sit there with your belly full and your warm clothes on, going back to your nice house every night, collecting your massive wage for doing what precisely? Feeling your way to the top. That woman is devoid of any soul.
For their health and well-being. It is not a nice time.
Look at it. I paused that. Look at her face. Look at that face. She's saying it's not a nice time of the year to be sitting outside in a tent with that smirk on her face. You telling me that's not an evil witch? She's a demon. And her day will come before Almighty God. And there'll be no smirking then.
Of the year, I do at the same time appreciate what they have gone through. I've listened to many of their stories and understand the position.
Why is she smirking? Look at that face. Evil.
Position that they are in, but I am asking that they would come off hunger strike, that we will continue to engage with them in good faith, and what the work of the mediator is doing now is based on the engagement they had yesterday, and we want to be able to come back to them as quickly as possible. But there is an absolute desire on part of government to try and resolve this as quickly as possible, but above all, that their health and well-being would be front and centre in all of this.
There's a desire to resolve this as quickly as possible, and they're now pushing up to day 50. The weekend's here. They're still outside the Dáil in the tent, hungry. Where's she today? Where's the great desire to resolve this? Evil, evil entity. McEntee. Evil. Meanwhile, Micheál Martin spoke at COP30 on protecting forests and oceans. Ireland has committed €15 million over 3 years to the Amazon Fund, which aims to combat deforestation here in the Amazon. Did he sign anything? He's sitting hobnobbing in Brazil. Bunch of hypocritical muppets. Well, these four souls suffer outside the Dáil. There's a petition. I'm going to leave a link for it in the description box below. Change.org, Justice for Ireland's industrial and reformatory school survivors. Last time I spoke to them, the petition was about 1,000 odd signatures. Now it's growing. It's gaining a lot of momentum. It's pushing up towards 10,000 signatures now. And they're steadfast. They're not going anywhere. And the shameful RTE mainstream media have told them that they won't report on this case because it's not a case of national interest. And unless one of them is taken ill and goes to the hospital or dies, at that point, they'll crawl out. RTE will crawl out from under their rocks like the cockroaches that they are. And then they'll give it some coverage. Too late. Too late. So that's the update as per now. Would have loved to have spoken with them this morning, but obviously you heard the message. They can't. It's turned into a building site now. Tar being poured, jackhammers going all day while they sit there languishing. So anyway, leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions below. Cut and paste the link to this. Really get the message out on this one. And hopefully I'll be able to get an update with them on Monday morning, but I can't control what's going on down there. And I just really pray for these people over the weekend that they're kept safe and they get some strength, inner strength, extra inner strength to keep them going. And that this does get resolved before, God forbid, one of them is hospitalized or worse. So anyway, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so for more updates of similar types of stories. Hit the notification bell. For now, I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.